If you're the kind of sailor who wants to go far, live aboard, and do it all with a sturdy hull under your feet and real systems below deck, then the Gulfstar 44 might just be your kind of boat. Designed by Vince Lazzara and built in the early to mid 1980s, this center cockpit cruiser represents a pivotal point in Gulfstar's transition from sort of mass production boats and charter-oriented builds to genuinely blue water capable yachts with more refined construction. Let's get into the details. The Gulfstar 44 is a fiberglass monohull with a moderate displacement, about 27,000 pounds. It's built for cruising, not racing, and that's reflected in the full-bodied hull shape, generous tankage, and a comfortable layout both on deck and below. The overall length is 44 feet, and the beam comes in at a roomy 13 feet, making it a surprisingly spacious boat on the inside for boats of this vintage. Below the waterline, you've got a long, thin keel with a skeg-hung rudder, a configuration that balances directional stability with moderate maneuverability. The keel carries about 10,000 pounds of lead ballast, giving this boat a ballast to displacement of around 37%, which is respectable for offshore work. The draft is 5'6", which is deep enough for good upwind performance, but still shallow enough to access most of the anchorages in the Bahamas or the US East Coast ICW. Now about the rig. The Gulfstar 44 is a masthead rig with a keel-stepped aluminum spar and double spreaders. Most models were delivered as sloops, but ketch rigs were available and sometimes found in the wild. Sail area in the sloop configuration is about 875 square feet. With a tall rig and moderate displacement, the boat performs better than you'd expect it to in light air, especially with a big Jenny on the front. Though it's not what you'd call a light air flyer. In heavy conditions, though, it really settles in. It's predictable and forgiving, easy to manage short-handed, especially with a roller furling headsail and lazy jack stack pack on the main. Moving on to the deck layout, being a center cockpit design, you get that raised helm position that many cruisers love. It's dry, protected, offers excellent visibility, though it does put the boom up a bit higher than it would be on an aft cockpit boat, which can make mainsail handling slightly more awkward without proper rigging. Lines are typically led aft to the cockpit, and there's plenty of room for self-tailing winches on both sides. A huge benefit of the center cockpit configuration is the interior volume that opens up. Down below, the Gulfstar 44 is essentially laid out for live-aboard comfort. You typically find a two-cabin, two-head layout with large owner's stateroom aft, complete with a centerline queen berth, private head with shower, and enough locker and storage space to make long-term cruising genuinely viable. Forward, there's a large V-berth with its own head and shower, and in the saloon there's a U-shaped dinette to port and a long settee to starboard. The galley's a walk-through style, and it's one of Gulfstar 44's best features. Massive counter space, double sinks, and a real sea-kindly orientation that works even on a port tack in a seaway. Across from the galley is a nav desk with enough space for full-size paper charts and a bank of instruments. Many owners have upgraded this space with modern MFDs, AIS displays, radar, SSB, and satellite communication systems. As for the systems on board originally, Gulfstar went with a fairly robust and well laid out installation for its time. You typically find a Perkins 4108 diesel putting out about 50 horsepower, though many have been repowered over the years with Yanmars or Betas. Engine access is good from beneath the companionway and via side panels in the walk-through to the aft cabin. Tankage is another strong point. Water tanks range from 150 to 200 gallons, depending on which layout in your boat you find, and fuel tanks are typically 80 to 100 gallons. That gives you some pretty serious range under power and long-term autonomy at anchor. Electrical systems on these boats were simple by today's standards, basic 12-volt DC and 110 AC. However, because of the boat's size and internal access, the 44 is a great platform for solar upgrades, lithium batteries, and modern charger inverters. You've got the space for panel real estate to do it right. If I was outfitting one of these for serious live-aboard offshore work today, I'd be aiming to fit 4 panels on it at about 400 watts each. I bet I could manage 1600 watts of solar on this boat without much trouble. And about 600 amp hours of battery on the house side would make it a wonderful off-grid, enough to run mild air conditioning kind of boat. If you want to see more on that topic, how we would do AC on a boat under just solar, we made a video about it. I'll link it at the top of the screen. Ventilation and insulation were pretty good for the era with these boats, with multiple hatches, opening ports, though most owners will eventually want to upgrade to stainless steel ports and add fans or air conditioning, especially for cruising in the tropics. The boat's thick hull and deck do a decent job insulating against both noise and heat. These were built pretty heavy. Underway, the 44 tracks well and handles predictably. She's no racer, but she'll get you there comfortably, reliably, and without too much fuss. The motion is steady thanks to that moderate displacement and long waterline. Reefing early and sailing conservatively will reward you with a safe, dry ride, even when conditions get nasty offshore. Let's talk about build quality, because early Gulfstars weren't known for their refinement. By the time the 44 came out in the 80s, though, the company had significantly raised its game. These hulls are solid glass below the waterline with core decks, typically end-grain balsa. The deck-to-hull joint is mechanically fastened and bonded with adhesive, and most boats came with aluminum tow rails and robust stanchions and lifelines. Of course, we should talk about common issues. Like any boat pushing 50 years old, the Gulfstar 44 may come with some of its own baggage. Look out for wet deck coring, particularly around chain plates or hardware penetrations. Electrical systems may be outdated or modified inconsistently over time. The original fuel tanks, some of them were black iron and may need to be replaced or relined if the rust is set in. And the chain plates on some of them were hidden behind cabinetry, so they can be tricky to inspect and service. But it's crucial that you do. Despite the age-related issues, the 44 remains popular on the used market for really good reason. It hits a really good sweet spot, big enough to live on, capable enough to cross oceans, and affordable enough to bring the dream within reach. And with a little refit love, maybe some new rigging, modern electric, solar, and lithium, and some creature comforts, you've got yourself a world-capable cruiser that can go just about anywhere. So if you're shopping for a classic live-aboard cruiser with real offshore credentials, space to spread out, and the bones to take you around the world, or just comfortably up and down the coast, you owe it to yourself to take a close look at the Gulfstar 44. She may not turn all the heads at the local yacht club, but she'll keep you safe, dry, and moving forward long after some of the trendier designs have run back to port. If you found this breakdown helpful, give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into classic cruising sailboats. And let us know in the comments if you've sailed the Gulfstar 44 or are thinking about buying one. We'd love to hear your story. If you're into something a little more modern than this, but along the same lines, check out our article on the Hunter 45DS. We cover all of the reasons why this boat might fit you perfectly, but it falls short of a full endorsement from Practical Sailor, and the reasons might surprise you. It's definitely worth a read if you want to do some learning today. I'll leave a link in the description. If you like sailboat videos, please hit the thumbs up so we know you're out there, and hit subscribe so I can see you again next time.